Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, members of the Executive Committee. I've left copies of a portfolio of opinion from my colleagues, Ann Golden, Jack Diamond, Bob. They're all in the letter, and they're really good people. And we are here this morning because we understand how important this issue is, not only to this council, but also to the citizens of the city. Let me offer three thoughts, if I could, on their behalf. One, I think it should be clear that this is mostly not about Porter. If this application or this proposal had come from Air Canada or WestJet or United, I can guarantee you that the public debate would have been very different. But I think that's the perspective that the council should have on it. Make no mistake about it. If this green light is given that is being requested, you will have an international waterfront airport that involves all of those. And if you have any doubt about that at all, you should pick up a copy of the Toronto Star on March the 24th. Calvin Romanescu, who's the president and CEO of Air Canada, lays that out pretty clear. They're coming in. And that's what this is really about. The expansion is about that. Secondly, it's not about Porter. It's about all of that international air traffic. It is, secondly, however, about the future of the Toronto waterfront. And that's what the staff report tries to get out. It is about the future of the Toronto waterfront and reminding us that in 2003, this council, under Mel Lastman, unanimously approved the waterfront plan. And that waterfront plan had four core principles: remove the barriers to connectivity, build networks for public spaces, promote clean and environmentally sound waterfront, and four, to create a dynamic and diverse number of communities. And what they did as well was underlay all of that with one single important approach, and that is the necessity to adopt an approach that said we are going to keep things in scale and we're going to keep things in balance, and therefore no one use should dominate. And that's why, since that time, that plan in 2003 has guided the way in which we've gone about our planning and development, our environmental policy making, our safety, security, and health issues, and as well, even investment monies for travel. So, as we found with the link between the waterfront and Pearson.
David, I have to stop you.
I'll finish off by saying this is what we want, and I'll do it in.
Well,
yes,
you know what?
Yes, I'm going to say. I'm going to say this.
David,
I am going.
We have people.
I know. I'm going to say it because I want this council. I want this council to keep faith.
David. You've
I'm
got
sorry?
questions.
All right.
David, you've got questions.
I forgot that.
You remember the procedure.
I will not bully you anymore. I'll accept questions.
We have questions of you. And the first person that I recognized was Councillor Fletcher, but I didn't know whether she was pointing to Councillor Carroll as the person who wanted to question. Okay, Councillor Fletcher, in case you're late in coming, 1 minute.
What is it that you would like to tell us?
Thank you very much. And I will do it very quickly. What we want is this. We want the council to keep faith with the approach that we've taken to the waterfront and remembering what they have passed unanimously in 2003. We also want to make sure that planning prevails over politics. And we want to make sure that the public interest prevails over private gain. And finally, we want to make sure that the council does not pass this proposal in principle with a set of conditions, because that is clearly, as the planning report points out, that is clearly putting the cart before the horse.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Carroll?
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. I think we sort of cut you off in making it 3 minutes instead of 5, so you didn't really get to step even out beyond the central waterfront plan. But as a former mayor and magistrate over economic development, I'm wondering if you could comment on the impact of this outside of just the central waterfront plan, and whether or not, in fact, the economic development strategy that says invest in all connections to Pearson is in fact a road to economic development.
Well, the investment in the road to Pearson is, I think, in the order of a $456 million investment. And that opens up next, with I think of somewhere around 1,200 jobs. And that opens up next year. It's not as if we're not paying attention to the issues of air transportation. What we've done already is put in a major, major investment. And that major investment, people will see, is going to pay off as it begins next year.
Okay. Thank you. Councillor Davis, did you have a question? Councillor Perks, then Councillor Cho.
There we go. I have two questions. First one, do you believe that the proposal in front of us stays within the Central Waterfront Plan principle of maintaining balance on the waterfront?
No, it does not.
Okay.
Not anywhere close. There's a yawning gap, which the planner's report points out. They're at great length to talk about 45 conditions. They're talking about major, major issues that this proposal has so far obviously not paid attention to, which is why they're asking for the opportunity. There's a yawning gap.
Okay, we're halfway through. Does this represent good business planning for the City of Toronto?
Not in my judgment. All of our investments in the past number of years and proposed depend on the plans that we've already forged.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councillor Cho.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Crombie. I have a couple of questions. One, if this council approved this project prematurely, do you think this will lead to legal lawsuit, either from the airport or from the public?
I have no idea, quite frankly, Councillor Cho, what legal positions there might be. But I think it's pretty clear that to proceed with any kind of approval before you've actually figured out what it is you're trying to do and how you're going to do it, I think is cheating on the public, because the public does not understand what's going to be required here. And so that's why I've been very strong on trying to make sure we're not giving some approval before we know what we're doing. That's the cart before the horse that I mentioned.
Okay, my second question, in a simple way, I could see we have three options. Either kill the application now, or approve it now, or delay until we get the full information. So what's your recommendation? What's your position?
My view is I would reject this proposal. I would certainly reject a proposal for approval with conditions. And I would also, I pay attention to the planner's report where they talk extensively about the importance of allowing staff to get on with the work of being able to manage the mess that has been created already on the waterfront.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? Members of committee, Councillor Shiner.
Mr. Crombie, have you ever flown out of Billy Bishop Airport via Porter?
Constantly.
Were you opposed to the bridge link before?
Was I opposed to?
The link of the bridge?
No, I favored the tunnel.
There wasn't a tunnel proposal when the bridge wasn't.
There was a tunnel proposal in 1925. There's a tunnel proposal in 1960s, 1980s. There's always been tunnel proposals.
Were you opposed to the bridge proposal?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Were you opposed to the bridge proposal last time?
Yeah, I opposed the bridge.
Okay, so you were opposed the expansion of the airport last time?
I supported, in fact, was a party to the drafting of the original TPA agreement in 1983, was a party to the work done for the 2003, which was supported unanimously by the council on the matter. No, I'm answering a question.
No, the last time that the airport expansion was here, when Porter was.
I didn't hear the first part, I'm sorry.
Councillor Shiner, with regret, that's the end of the 1-minute question, unless some
bad
other
we can't
councillor
get an
wants
answer
to
to the
pick that
question.
up. Seeing none, thank you, David.
Thank you.
Teresa?